And we are back. Roll up, everybody gather, come and join. One man went to mow, the session commences. So the session commences and your company is required. That afternoon session now that we are seeming to be doing on a fairly regular basis, that commences now. So you need to be situated here with me so that things can take its natural course. Otherwise, I'll be talking to myself, which is never a good thing. So gather, come and join. One man went to mow the session start. You know why we do it, you know where we do it, and you know what we do. So gather, let's do it together. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Only water. Water. Only water. Where they see ma. Water. Water, 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 water.
All right, my system seems to be kicking me out for whatever reason, and my camera is blurring up for whatever reason. So we try it one more time, and hopefully this time things go tickety-boo. So tickety-boo, one man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Water. Only water. Water. Only water. Where they see ma. Water. Water, 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 water.
Only water. Where they see ma.
Hapa o naido.
Hapa o naido.
Hapa you don't come o.
Hapa o naido.
Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùyé o.
Oro kẹ̀kẹ́.
Ilé ṣọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o.
Oro kẹ̀kẹ́.
Bobby Master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o.
Oro kẹ̀kẹ́.
Chifu Failati kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o.
Oro kẹ̀kẹ́.
Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé.
Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdóde.
Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdóde ó jàre o.
Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdóde.
Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o.
Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ.
Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o.
Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ.
Petrosonama ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o.
Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ.
Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o.
Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ.
Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o.
Ìgbàlà ti ẹlẹ́.
Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjìkọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there we are. Ikuko Niriwagbeshe, powerful prayer by the Kegites. So Ikuko Niriwagbeshe, as guys, I bring you this. Corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military police. Integrity report. So this is the same organization that did that expose that exposed what is his name? Peter Obi's Pandora papers. I suspect. Oh, no, sorry, actually, I retract that. That is not true. This is by Transparency International, so which is equally a credible setup. Corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military police integrity report. So quite what that means, we'll find out in due course. So now an interesting story. Naval officer was missing, and a lot of people declared him missing. But alas, he wasn't missing, he was detained by the Navy itself. Missing cute Biola in our detention cell for posting on social media. Nigerian Navy speaking. So this chap now has been detained for posting on social media, but quite how that is explained, we'll find out in due course. Again, missing cute Abiola in our detention cell for posting on social media, a headline attributed to the Nigerian Navy. So we find out just exactly what that means in due course. Now, the third story is not so much a readout, but a video clip. So we've discussed in the past how Issa Pantami was appointed or was given rather a professorship by some university in the East. So it looks as though now the university unions, the University Union of Nigeria has rejected that position, insisting that it's not qualified. So a video clip to describe that. So we'll watch that just as soon as we come back. But first, we take that usual now traditional pit stop via the Eastern Quarters and another Python dance.
Do I call? O Mary, O Nindizu, Moniria, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi bo onye do I walk. O Mary Monelizu, Mbiroya, Abakare, Mamanda Ora, Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi, Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, now Python dance three. Unapuri Mary Nandi.
And there you are. Nandi Mati Winnie Whoa. Python dance, Python dance. Nandi Mati Winnie Whoa. Python dance, Python dance. In Nandi Mati Winnie War, as guys, I bring you this. Corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military police integrity report. So preaching to the converted, I don't think there's a single Nigerian dead or alive, even Nigerian still unborn, that would not concur with that headline. Corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military police integrity report. In a government defense integrity index, Nigeria is listed amongst two-thirds of all the countries facing high to critical corruption risks in their defense and security sector. This is contained in the 2020 Government Defense Index GDI released by Transparency International on Tuesday. Nigeria faces considerable corruption risk across its defense institutions, with extremely limited controls in operations and procurement. Oversight mechanisms are in place, but often lack coordination, expertise, resources, and adequate information to fully perform their role, the report said. However, Nigeria is improving on budget and financial transparency, particularly with regards to defense expenditure. Nigeria falls under the very high risk category. Under the five subcategories considered in the index, Nigeria scored 27 points under the financial category, 10 points out of operational, 35 personnel points, 28 political points, and 8 procurement points. The report evaluated and scored 86 countries across 5 risk areas. The report evaluated and scored 86 countries across 5 risk areas, including financial, operational, personnel, political, and procurement. These findings came as global military spending increased to about 2 trillion annually, fueling the scale and opportunity for corruption. The anti-corruption body's report remarked that countries with poor scores have weak or non-existent safeguards against defense sector corruption, making such systems likely to experience conflict, instability, and human rights abuses. This is because arms uh, this is because arms deals are not open to scrutiny by the legislature or civil society organizations. The lack of transparency, in turn, enable bribery, public money being diverted, or increased violence as criminals purchase weapons. Last October, The Economist described the Nigerian army as a useless organization filled with corrupt generals and unable to protect the country from mutating violence. Nigeria's army is mighty on paper, the London magazine said, but many of its soldiers are ghosts who exist only on the payroll, and much of its equipment is stolen and sold to insurgents. The Economist said Nigeria has not been able to address its insecurity because military chiefs have plundered much of the country's combat resources and the rest had stretched thin with little capacity to forestall crises. The army is also stretched thin, having been deployed to all of Nigeria's states, the paper said. The paper also said Nigeria's police has become demoralized due to poor training and endemic corruption. The police are understaffed, demoralized, and poorly trained. Many supplement their low pay by robbing the public they have sworn to protect, it said. A spokesman for the Nigerian army did not immediately return requests seeking comments. Nigerian military chiefs have for years faced allegations of corruption and collusion with violent criminals as a way of keeping themselves enriched. A large cache of military equipment had ended in the hands of insurgents since 2016. In July 2019, Nigerian soldiers fled with hundreds of millions of naira of Nigeria that they were asked to transport to Abuja by an army general. The money loot was immediately traced to Hakim Otiki, a major general who was subsequently dismissed from the service after a military trial. Anti-corruption activists said the Nigerian army took action because the soldiers fled with the loot and the scandal became public. So there you are. It's just there is nothing new in that narrative. Like I said, there's no Nigerian born, dead, or unborn that would not agree with just the headline alone tells you everything you need to know. Corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military police. Integrity report. Tell us something we don't know is the response to that. So this guy now went missing. So we start from him going missing. Instagram skit maker cute Abiola missing. So that's the starting point. Social media skit maker Ahmed Gafar, aka Cute Abiola, has been declared missing by friends and family for over 24 hours. A statement shared on Tuesday evening by comedian Mr. Macaroni said Cute Abiola, a Nigerian naval officer, left his residence at about 6 a.m. on Monday for office at Navy Town, but nothing had been seen or heard from him. Sharing a screenshot of the statement, Mr. Macaroni appealed to the Nigerian Navy to confirm the skit maker's whereabouts. If the Nigerian Navy has any information to help Cute Abiola's family and friends confirm his whereabouts, or if he's in their custody, I think the honorable thing to do would be to clarify details surrounding his detention and put people's mind at rest, Mr. Macaroni tweeted. Cute Abiola was said to have called his wife on the phone at his office, but several attempts to reach him later have proved abortive. His wife and other associates have made several attempts to contact him, but to no avail. Since he last communicated with his wife and associates that he already got to the office, he has not returned to his family and no one has heard from him till this moment, the statement reads. Whilst his whereabouts remain unclear, reports said he had been locked up in a cell without the Naval Authority making his detention public. It was subsequently gathered from reliable source that he has been locked up in the naval cell since he got to the office yesterday morning till the time of posting this information without being fed, and no date has been stated for his release from custody, the statement disclosed. So that's the opening salvo, and this is where we are now. Missing Cute Abiola in our detention cell for posting on social media. Nigerian Navy. The Nigerian Navy has confirmed to correspondents that it detained popular Instagram skit maker Ahmed Gafar, aka Cute Abiola, declared missing by his relatives for violating social media policy. The young man was found to have breached the social media policy while he was on leave, so he was recalled, asked to come back, but he refused until he completed his leave, which is a disobedience to a particular order, the spokesman of the Navy, Commodore Suleiman Dahun, told correspondents. He reiterated that Cute Abiola was not missing, but locked up in his unit for breaching the armed forces' social media policy. So when he came back, we took him into custody for him to face the consequences, Mr. Dahun added. Cute Abiola, a naval officer, was last seen on Monday morning after he left his residence for his office at Navy Town. He was said to have spoken with his wife over the phone upon arrival at the office, but several attempts to reach him afterwards were unsuccessful. According to Mr. Dahun, naval officers have been cautioned against making certain information public on social media by sharing photos. You know, sometimes if you snap your picture in one of these our sensitive units, you are giving intelligence advisory. You are giving away the information you are not supposed to give. And we have told them several times to desist from exhibiting themselves on our social media. Last year, Cute Abiola was arrested for posing in his naval uniform on his birthday. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Cute Abiola in custody for taking Instagram snaps. Your laziness as opposition, second to none. Akeredolu blasts the PDP. Governor Olarotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has described the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as a lazy opposition over its stance on the appointment of his son Babajide as the Director General Performance and Project Implementation Monitoring Unit (PPIMU). Akeredolu, who defended his action, maintained that his son deserved the appointment, going by his capacity to deliver on tasks given. Following the appointment of the governor's son as DG PPIMU, the PDP had accused the governor of allegedly turning governance in the state into a family affair. According to the governor in a statement issued by his Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Donald Ojogo, Akeredolu was not the first governor to give an appointment to his son. Ojogo maintained that PDP was only intimidated by the arrays of those within the governor's cabinet. When Jang appointed his son Yakubu as commissioner in Plateau, it was okay for them. What about Okowa, who did it in Delta? When their principal's brothers in Ondo literally did all the appointments while they held sway, it was okay. We can only enjoy their gallery looking dance. They are hypocritical aside from being saddened by their antecedents, he said. This young man has been doing a lot behind the scenes in the last 5 years plus to enhance this young man has been doing a lot in the this young man has been doing a lot behind the scene in the last 5 years plus to enhance good governance. He has demonstrated enough capacity in many respects. Time will tell as we sail along in full steam. I think the problem PDP has is the fact of apparent intimidation that a very sound and balanced second term cabinet has birthed. So there you are, at Akeredolu defense the indefensible. So here now to that terror pantami, the we spoke at length about the disappointment on this platform, and it looks as though Ajale Koko actually highlighted this to us. It looks as though now that that appointment has now summarily been rejected. So now let's now hear from the academic staff union, just expanding on their thoughts on Terror Pantami being a professor. Watch this.
The attention of the academic staff union University Asuu have been drawn to the controversy generated by the recent appointment of Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim, the current Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, as a professor of cyber security by the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. The controversial appointment reportedly followed the advertisement for employment into the position of professor and other ranks placed by the University of Technology of Owerri in the Guardian and Daily Sun newspaper of Tuesday, 2nd September 2020. Thereafter, Dr. Isa Ibrahim was alleged to have purportedly applied for the position and was subsequently appointed as a professor of cyber security in the university. From our record about him, where he worked before he left Nigeria, that he was promoted to the rank of lecturer 1 in the year 2013. Lecturer 1, the year 2013. From lecturer 1, you have to move to senior lecturer, move to associate professor before you can become a professor. And each of these stages will require 3 years. 2, he resigned from ATBU in 2015. He resigned. And from what we know, in the record, even in the public, that he moved to a university in Saudi Arabia as an assistant professor. Assistant professor in those universities is not the same thing as actual professor. They are just a name. It's like you have assistant lecturer. Then in 2016, he became director of NIGERIAN. He left academics. 2013, lecturer 1. 2016, he left academics and became a director, the executive DG of NIDA, which means from 2013 to 2016, when he ceased to be an academic, it's just 3 years. Which means, if Uto says it's right, which means that between 3 years, the man could move from becoming lecturer 1 to becoming a professor, which is against all rules. In view of the foregoing, I haven't rejected the Futo Committee's report. Next, set up an independent committee to go to Futo to investigate fully and get all the data so that we can put this to the public. The role of Futo, the role of our members there, on how this person who spent 3 years between lecturer 1 and professor how did he become a professor? And once that is done, the public will be informed exactly what has happened in Futu. As a union of intellectuals, we base our discussion on facts. And we want to get all these facts before we take our final decision and tell the public exactly what happened in Futu and have somebody who's a serving minister become a full-time professor.
And there we are. So there we are. Terror Pantami, as usual, a fraudster trying to fraud his way into a professorship through Sharia. But no Sharia in Asuu, as they know. But Ajale Koko, I see you. What are you then making of this rejection of Terror Pantami by the Academic Staff Union? Good to see you, Ajale Koko.
Hey, how are you, woman? Oh, Pantami again. You see, the Asu's have done well to tell the nation.
There must be standards, There must be standards, especially in academia. There must be standards.
Oh,
now.
yes, in academia, yes.
Somebody that is not qualified, you go and give him professor because
professor.
he give you $1.
Oh, Lord. So, ASU have done well, to inform the nation of their dissatisfaction about how he obtained that professorship. So, and they said they're going to investigate further. They will go to FUTA and look at all their record and do their investigation, and we finally tell us their position, their final position on it. But one thing that is clear in that video, as mentioned by that man, years in academic, from lecturer to the senior lecturer, assistant lecturer, up to the professorship. So that will take, a period of like 12 years from his analysis that each stage will take 3 years, to complete those, But Pantami is trying to cut corner, and that is the way
It's
they
gone
do it.
to Saudi Arabia to some unregistered place for a year and a half, and then it's gone to Igbo land to give them money, and he's a professor. Is that how things work? Don't be silly.
No,
Don't be silly,
no.
Mr. Jihadi. I mean, what are we talking about? You went to Saudi Arabia to some
Saudi Arabia.
unregistered something, and then you come back and pay them in Igbo land, and then you're a professor.
So
maybe they should have given him, the sort of ones that they give all these Fuji musicians. Maybe that is what he was after. Chief Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, Alaje Marshall, upside down,
yeah,
What's the nonsense?
it's just what it has done. Tell us that the position that he occupy is not competent for that position. Is not qualified for that position, rather. And when somebody is not qualified for a particular position that he occupies, incompetency will set in. He won't be able to do the job right. He won't be able to achieve the set objective for that organization. So, ASU have to continue their investigation as they promised the nation, and we want to know the truth. At the end of the day, we want to
because the sort of damage that guy could have done it would be quite vast. Somebody that is not qualified, training people in a very sensitive positions. Because cybersecurity, you that you are not qualified, you are training students on cybersecurity. So then that then disqualifies them, or they are not fit for purpose, the people that will pass through your hands.
Yes.
Because there's a reason why you have to serve 12 years apprenticeship before you become a professor. They didn't just
Professor.
put it
Yes.
there. They want you to be rounded and
Yes,
solid
to be run.
because they
Yes.
know how important your role will be. And you
Yes.
just go to Saudi Arabia and come back and say,
I mean, it's this is what we have seen in this administration. The president himself his own certificates, high
yeah,
school certificates, is questionable.
is missing in action. Huh?
So, what do you expect? Who are the people do you think you will be surrounded with? So you'll be surrounded with people like Pantami that does not have are not qualified for uh, you know uh, in running the state. There was one that was sent on to represent Nigeria in an international organization that was as well discovered that he was using a fake certificate.
Yeah, no, that was actually in the United Nations, when they
Yes.
were going through his credentials, they found that 80% of it was fake, you know.
I mean, just imagine. Look at that disgrace that one has brought to that nation.
Mm,
And they want to tell us that they did not verify all his certificate and everything about him
mm,
before sending him on
mm.
international mission. I
You,
mean,
you see, this fulanization agenda of Buhari is the biggest problem that we're contending with, not just because it is just wrong in a multi-ethnic society, but within those Fulanis, they are not known for schooling, they are cattle rearers. So if he wants to Fulanize, he would never find sufficient enough of a quality of people within the Fulanis to fill
oh yes,
positions.
oh
So
yes,
that is why he's sending people without the proper credentials or knowledge or
yes.
intelligence into positions that completely beyond their capacity ever in life. Sending
Um,
somebody with no certificate to United Nations, I mean, and then
mm,
they won't say it's Fulani, they'll say it's Nigerian, and then we are
Nigerian. That's
we,
what
we
I
are
mean.
we are
The
all
world
tarnished by
doesn't.
it.
Yes, it's just Nigerian. That's what they will.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
they will target. They will not say it's Fulani. People doesn't know who is Fulani, who is
mm.
Yoruba or Igbo in the international world. Nigerian. That's it. So it's a shame that that person like Pantami is the one that is keeping the biodata of everybody in that country now. It's sad, but we have to give kudos to the Asuu for coming out to tell the world that this is what we have observed and we are going to investigate it. So they should investigate it and let us know the true aspect of, and let us know the conclusion of their investigation.
Yes, because enough is enough, and that university, they must be sanctioned if they are found to be complicit or to be untoward in the way, because if they are found to have taken money, then that asks a lot of question about that university. That
Oh yes,
what about the other people that you have acknowledged or given positions to? What is their history? So
yes.
this could well open a Pandora's box in that space.
Oh yes, oh
Mm,
yes, oh yes, and that'd be very shameful if a university can go down and participate in this kind of corrupt practices of issuing fake certificate. I mean, certificates to people that are not qualified or people that did not go
mm,
through the academic sessions in the school uh,
mm.
just because of money, and that would be so that would be very, very outrageous. And if that is discovered that the school is complicit in this, then every certificate that has been issued out in that school must be investigated.
You see, and then that puts a lot of people's lives in abeyance. People that
Yes.
have honestly and done the right thing.
So-
Was it even engineer? I remember our engineer. He came here once and was saying about that he spent 3 years in some university in Nigeria. And
Oh,
then
yes.
in his third year, somebody called him aside that, look, my brother, I like you. This university is not accredited, and you are not accredited.
Yes.
So how can that be? This is just the thing. Imagine they are teaching somebody to be a medical doctor under those circumstances. You're creating fake doctors to go and be injecting people with the wrong gas. It's a mess, man.
It's I mean, the level of corruption at all facets of the society is is alarming. It's alarming at every level, every facet of that society called Nigeria, that country called Nigeria. Is I don't know. I don't know how I don't know how they're gonna, turn it around and make it work. I don't know. It's shameful.
Adale Koko, let me play you this short clip. I'll just give you a snippet of the clip because it's not really the clip, but the guy in it that I want to talk to you about. So watch this guy. The one wearing the cap is who?
Labani.
I hear them a fall leg, baby.
I don't know.
I hear them a sad.
I hear
They won't punish you. They complain about whiskey with your own artist.
Who be whiskey?
Big whisk.
Who be whiskey?
Big whisk.
Whiskey too small. Whiskey
Who won't kill
na
you?
child.
I hear them a sad.
I hear them a Peruni.
Amy.
So the guy you see in that clip, Ajale Koko, is a guy that goes under the moniker Cute Abiola. His name is actually Ahmed Jafar, but it's a skit maker under the name Cute Abiola. That is how he rolls on social media. So this guy has been on social media, has a very large following, etc., etc. So he's doing his own thing. But then that's just a hobby. That's just a side betting. His main job is being a naval officer. So he went on leave and then he came back from leave and then phoned his wife from his office and then suddenly they didn't hear from him anymore. Panic everywhere. Of course, just the wife has not slept. All the families just from pastor to afar and all or whatnot. So they landed all at Mr. Macaroni's office, who, of course, is skit maker too. So he then put the notice out that wherever this guy is, even if the Navy have him, they should declare. So Mr. Macaroni then forced the Navy to come out. And the Navy then came out to say that, no, he's not missing. He's detained in a cell for making skits on social media. So
Wow.
what are you making of that? So the guy goes on leave. They said they told him to come back from his leave, but the guy said he was going to complete his leave, and then he completed his leave and came back. And they said you are going on social media to do skits, and you were taking photographs of yourself wearing your uniform on your birthday. So we're going to throw you in the cell. So they threw him in the cell. His family were not aware. Nobody knew where he was, dead or alive, until Mr. Macaroni forced them to come out. So what are you making of that storyline? Cute Abiola, his name is.
I mean, it's one thing to discipline officer when they have done something wrong. And when that discipline has to do with locking them up in cell, as a family man, they have the responsibility, or they should give him the opportunity to call the wife and said, okay, you know what? This is the situation with me. I'm going to be here for a while. So keeping him in cell without informing his family, causing panic on his family for not informing them is wrong. It's violation of his right there. So if Macaroni have not put pressure, have not raised alarm on social media, so is that the way they're going to keep him for days or for months to punish him for what they feel a disciplinary action on this guy? I mean, they are wrong to lock him up without informing his family. So this is the violation that the Nigerian security apparatuses commit against the people and against even some individual. In their midst, a lot of officers' rights have been violated as well. And nobody to fight for them. Nobody to fight for them. So this is wrong, what they did to him. And Macaroni, we have to give kudos to him that he raised alarm and his effort make the officer, the Navy, Nigerian Navy to come out and said, okay, yes, it's in our custody. So that is what I can say. This violation, they violated his human right. They violated, you know, the family right to know where their own
that itself is an abuse. But the reason why they detained him, you know,
yes, and the reason why
for wearing his uniform and taking snaps and putting it on social media, they're saying that he took those photographs in areas that are sensitive and was giving out security information essentially by that photograph. And they said there's a policy on social media that they've been telling them countlessly, you know. So is that valid enough? Because no. What do you think of that? Just the reasons why this guy, you know.
Well, if what the military are saying that well, they have warned them, they have trained them not to do social media or use the while in uniform, fine. It deserves to be punished. It deserves, you know, a disciplinary action must be taken on him. But locking him up without informing his family, a family man, I mean, that is an abuse, and that's a violation of his right. Being in uniform does not mean that if you want to go through some disciplinary punishment by the military or your unit, it doesn't mean that they have to violate your fundamental human right. You still, I mean, as a citizen, is still his right should be protected all the time. So they violated this right, and that is very, very wrong. And we don't know their policy. We don't know the kind of training they have given. We don't know the warning they have given. So if that guy violated that, yeah, he deserves to be punished. But punishing him and putting his family in pains and in agony just because their own, who is serving their father's land, have to be punished. I mean, that is entirely wrong. It's just uncivilized way of doing things in that country. And it's somebody in uniform. You have to respect his family.
Yes, I have to say I agree with you. In fact, in totality, yes. You know, his family should have been informed. Why would you want to put them through pain and torture, especially in a country like Nigeria? Somebody goes missing, and you are holding him in custody, your own officer, and you are not informing the family or even giving him a chance to speak to his family to describe the circumstances. There's just no excuse for that. But if it is policy,
this is what killed the morale of some of these military officers when the nation they are serving punish them wrongly, torture them, torture their family. How do you expect them to be loyal to their country? I mean, all this psychological effect of this wrong treatment of officers, and you don't pay them well. You don't equip them well, and you punish them for what is unreasonable, and you expect them to have that morale to fight and defend their nation. I mean, it's just I cannot understand it. It's just power show everywhere. And
yes. I agree with that. I also agree, Jan Lekoko, with the second half of what you said, that if it is the policy and they have been warned severally, as they said they have, and this guy is being defiant, then he must be disciplined. You must be disciplined.
Oh yes,
It is not your place to agree.
military
Yes,
is
you
not
know,
a profession of people with
having
no
your own
with
opinion. Yeah,
immoral people. No.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not your place to agree or disagree with
uh.
policy. They tell you to do it and you do it,
You
or
do
you
it.
resign your commission. It's
That's it.
just they said this is the policy of the organization that you signed up to work for, and you are
Yes,
picking, and you can't pick and choose now. If you want to be a skit maker, you probably make more money. So resign that commission and get out.
that's
But
right.
if you are wearing that uniform, then you obey the policy or you get disciplined. So
That's right.
yes, so I agree with that too. So so, so
It's
thank
not.
you.
It's not a place where indiscipline is condoned. No,
No.
It's a place. I mean, look, there was a guy I met here. He's a black guy, and he served in military. He has already resigned, and he's an instructor in one of the schools here. So we were just talking generally about uh, our our black kids in this country, African American kids, and what they do wrong and stuff. You know what that guy told me? The guy said he if he have a way of convincing every family, every black family in this country, every male of every black family in this country must go to military. I said, why? He said, because that is where you get the best of the best discipline. And if you are an indisciplined person from your home, the military will train you and they make you a person, you will become a disciplinarian. He said they will make you a disciplinarian in military. He said you'll be trained. He said there's a lot of things that the military will give you and will make you an upright person.
Of course, now they are not your mommy or daddy.
Yeah,
They are your bosses. They tell you to wake up at 6 a.m. If you don't wake up, if you wake up for 6:05, you will frog jump for 40 minutes, and then they will embarrass you. If your uniform is not pressed, you will frog jump and do press up, And if you are not on time, you will watch the toilets. Mommy, you will do as you are told and do it properly. Or that's it now.
You're right. Do what you are told and do it properly. That is the exact thing. That is the exact aspect of it there. The guy told me, look, if I have my way to meet every family, black family in this country, I will advise them to send their child to military, or any one of their son rather, to military, or particularly anyone that they observe that is becoming very unruly and stuff, they have to send it to military. He said, look, military will train him, military will make him a better person in life, military will give him that discipline that he need as a person to be upright and be a disciplinarian and be a very useful person to the society. He said that is where he learned it. He said, when I went to military, he said, I changed completely. I become a better person in life. I said, wow.
Discipline is underrated, because people, they conflate discipline with abuse, but uprightness, especially for a male child, is just so important to know how to stand and how to stand tall and how to, be your own person and, to firm up, you have to be firm, especially in this world that we live in now. Because people test you all the time, even if you go into the shops, the attendant is testing you somewhat with a comment here, just wanting to know Everybody wants to take advantage, so you have to, you have to be upright now, you know. And but especially the military in Nigeria, I'm saying frog jump in your US. It's koboko in Nigeria. You don't do it, they will flog you. Eh? They
They
will
will
flog,
fly.
they will flog you like a donkey. So that is the thing. Thank you, Ajali Koko. Before we go on to the next talking point, let me acknowledge Chris Nwago's super chat, and he is speaking to the Pantami space. So Chris Nwago super chats this. It says, Asuu, so proud of them and their decision, meaning that the academic area is impenetrable to influence by the cabal to take over our academia. So that is what Chris Nwago says via super chat, applauding the academic staff union. So let me acknowledge Na Johnson. Na Johnson, I see you, but I'll come to you in a moment. Let me just take a Janle Koko to the next talking point. So corruption tendency very high in Nigerian military and police. This is an integrity report published by Transparency International. So tell us what we don't know is my answer to that. They are telling us that the Nigerian military and police, they are corrupt. Is this breaking news to you, Ajanle Koko?
It's not breaking news, but what I'm waiting to hear is Lai Mohammed defense.
Yes. And Femi Adesina. That's what are they talking about? We went to Liberia and we did this and the other, pre-professional service and the rules of engagement. No, nonsense. Oh God, we're in trouble. Oh. We're in trouble in that country. Did you see how the army guy came and was threatening yesterday after the report that mind what you say in the media?
Yes.
This is the thing that they're defending territorial integrity.
Territorial integrity that Boko Haram and banditry is controlling all over the north. And he can say it openly in the public without shame. He was defending what is indefensible. You see, now Femi Adesina, Garuba Shehu, Lai Mohammed, I bet you, my brother, before the end of the day, or maybe before the end of the week, they will surely come out and attack Transparency International. This is not the first time that Transparency International has make a statement concerning several wrongdoing in Nigeria, particularly within the circle of the government of Nigeria. But Nigerian state will shamefully defend themselves. They always defend what is indefensible. What everybody knows that they are doing wrong, they will come out and defend it. It is not, this is what everybody knows. The entire military structure in Nigeria is corrupt. The entire military structure is corrupt. Sahara Reporter are published make a publication some times ago about the bank account of Buratai in several places outside the country. Nothing was done to it. Several bank accounts with several millions of dollars in them. Nothing was done to it. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't investigate it. And so during the time of Jonathan, a lot of military officers were found wanting with looting of money that they will have used for purchase of arms and to equip the military. So, and the corruption persists. they continue to loot every penny that has been given to the military or voted to the military to buy arms. Majority of it ended up in military officers' pocket. And that's why they don't have enough arms. They don't have, to fight the insurgency. That is why this insurgency is winning. That's why the banditry and criminality that all over the north, that's why we see people are killing, these criminal kills, and they were taking over villages and they are imposing their own authority. Now, in many places in them, they impose their own authority and they are collecting taxes. And it's not that the military doesn't know where these people are, where they have established their own authority, and where they know where they are, but they cannot go after them.
The longer those people are instituted within those spaces, the more difficult it will be to displace them. So
Yes.
these people, they've been there now for it's going on years now. So the established order now in those spaces is that they're under the rulership of Boko Haram. So that's been the case for 3-4 years now. So nobody is now going to come in three. And those people, they are shoring up their spaces. They are defending it. They are, So you're not going to turn up suddenly 1 minute and say you are taking it back into Nigeria. No, because the people even will resist you. That this is the system we've now become accustomed to. So this is the Talibanification of the northern Nigeria that is taking shape slowly. There's Taliban now in northern Nigeria.
Well, yes. So this information by Transparency International is absolute true. They have nothing to achieve to carry this out against the nation, because some Nigerians that are knuckle-headed will say, oh, these people, they just want to, they don't like Nigeria, they just want to do this. Some people will say that, but they have nothing to achieve to carry out this information. It is what they have seen. They have seen it, they have the record, they have their fact, and they can publish it anytime if they are challenged. I will expect a nation that is a serious nation upon the publication of this to challenge it and said, okay, and contest it and said, okay, we want to contest. Come and show us the fact. They can sue them. They can do anything. Let us get the fact. If they are, but they won't do that because they know this. They are seriously looting money that is meant, to manage the military structure. The military structure is crumbling in Nigeria. That's why we saw this bandit or kidnapper went to NDA, the most fortified military formation in Nigeria. They went there, attacked, took people away, took some officers away, kidnapped them, and took ransom. They have done it. They recently, it was last week, they killed a major general, and some Nigerians and some soldiers. So when a major general is killed in the war front, what does that tell you? That tells you that we are not really doing good. We are not really doing good in this fight against these people. So look at the police.
And a lot of it, that narrative of corruption, because let's put figures to what we're saying, Ajanle Koko, and let's use that figure, $1 billion. So they give $1 billion. Let's just take one security agency. They give $1 billion to the army to say this is your budget for the year. The general or the generals, because these people, they are fat in the mouth now and their stomach is big. So between them, between them, they take $600-700 million, which then leaves $300-400 million for the total running of that space. So the equipment that they should buy, they either go and buy some low debt cheap one, some second-hand rotten one, and buy insufficient of it, bulletproof that cannot stop a pebble, all of these things. Then they don't pay the people their salary, they withhold it, they round trip it. So all of this is what we're talking about. So all of this is what is Boko Haram taking over Borno State. Because if that, let's say we can't eliminate corruption, but let's say they satisfy themselves with just $100 million. I say just a lot of money of that $1 billion, and they spend 900 billion, and the security agencies they're equipped, helicopters everywhere, gunboat helicopters, drones, well padded kits, tanks, super guns, super machines. Like Boko Haram come now, and then you will die on the spot. But when
That's right.
Boko Haram has a AK-47 and you have a toy pistol, this is the thing now. That is the real reality of this corruption that we're talking about. And they say they don't audit the accounts of security agencies, so it's just free for all.
Yeah, corruption kills and destroys. So it's killing the military, it's destroying them. The police, that one is a den of corruption, and from the top to the ground. The police, those one are, they don't even hide it. We see it every day, what they do on the street. Every day. Police does not hide their own corrupt practices at all. They don't hide it. It is openly, and nothing has ever done to stop it by people in power. They never done anything because police extort money from people. Police violate the right of people. Police commit extrajudicial killing. Police has killed Okada man for refusing to give him 100 naira.
Yes.
And he killed that guy there, right on the spot.
Yes.
And it has happened several times like that. And police officers, let me tell you, the corruption in the police, they are the ones that buy their own uniform. They pay for their own uniform. Their shoe, their uniform, even the bullet in the gun they carry around, they pay for it. So using that gun to shoot armed robber is money flowing out from their pocket. That is how corruption, that is how rotten it is in that country. And nothing is done. The military is the level of corruption has killed and destroyed the security apparatuses of that nation completely.
But Adale Koko, we've known this and we've known this for a very long time. This is not the Buhari administration. This is pretty much Nigeria since its inception. So this has been the case, and we know the resultant effect of it. So why is nothing being done about it? The corruption in the security forces, from the police right all the way through to the army, is literally killing people. And we know it. Everybody knows it. They know it. They know we know it, and we know they know we know it. So it's just out there in the open. So why is nothing being done about it?
You see, the action of leadership matters a lot. I will give you some instances. During the time Obasanjo was there, he came in and he said, I want to improve the he said he wanted to improve the how do I say it? The service condition of the police. And because of that, he set up Police Service Commission. Police Service Commission is meant to is meant to improve the condition of service of the police, Nigerian police. And
We're losing you
first
slightly,
person,
Adanle Koko.
hold on.
Ego is talking to himself again. Look at this man. Nobody can hear you. Look at this. At least you are not eating today. I didn't mute you. You muted yourself. Look, you see? This is it. Oh, look at that.
So during the time of Obasanjo, like I was saying, he set up Police Service Commission to improve the service condition of the police. And the first person that headed that Police Service Commission was Jemmy Bawon. So, and he pumped in a lot of money there he put in place a lot of structure that can make things work for the police so that the police can work. I mean, the condition of service can get better and they can work in an environment that will make things work. And the Inspector General of Police that he appointed, this Yoruba man, I can't remember his name. Well, he appointed him. Now that man was caught perpetrating some corrupt practices. What did Obasanjo do? He tried him and slammed him in jail. He was jailed. He was carried to the court in Black Maria. That's to show that, look, if you are heading a position of authority to make life better for the people, instead of you using every resources that being given to you to make things work for that position, you are trying to loot that resources, you will be punished. It demonstrated that. Obasanjo demonstrated that. He took that guy, I think it's Tafa Balogun, and he's a very qualified officer. I mean, the training that he went, it came for some training before he was appointed in United States and so on. That guy always come first, on top of the class. Every training that he has went to across the world, he always come up. And that is why Obasanjo singled him out and said, I need somebody that is the best to help this police and give a new direction. But instead, this guy, he started looting and he was jailed. He was sentenced. So, but what that does is that when people sees an example of leadership that engage in corruption and consequently punish for that, that will give some people that are having it in their head to engage in such corrupt party to step back a little bit. So, but when you have a situation like what we have now, where none of these people, none of them have been punished for any wrongdoing, but instead of that, cover up everywhere. You can, I mean, the problem will persist and continue to destroy the structure that is supposed to work for the people. It's not gonna work.
Do you think the people who run Nigeria, especially under this administration, are mainly the Northerners? Do you think they understand fully the opportunity that is Nigeria? Do you think they understand what is possible in that space? Do you think they get it?
Look, let me tell you one man. You see,
and I know why I'm asking this, but do you
yes.
think and I think you know why I'm asking this.
Yes.
Do you think they get it? Do you think they understand what can be done with that country?
Look, you see, those majority of people that we say the Fulani people occupying some sensitive position, most of them are not qualified for that position in the first place. So when you have people that are not qualified for to head a sensitive position, you are not going to get a fruitful result out of that position because it doesn't have that competence to manage the place well. So that is what we are seeing here. People that does not have the competence to manage the position they occupy, they are the one occupying sensitive position in our country. And that is why they cannot perform. It doesn't mean that because they are Fulani, if you have a Fulani man that is qualified, that have a vision, to transform the the ministry or position of authority that he occupied, it will transform him because he is competent. He
But
knows
the
what he
only
wants to do.
example of competence we ever hear is from the South. If we're talking about competence, the only person that has really made somewhat of an effort, even though he was a failure too, was Obasanjo, who was meritorious and driven to build the country.
Yes.
But when you get up, the reason why I'm asking this is, all these people, they come and they loot all this money and they go to Qatar and Saudi Arabia trying to pretend like they're Arabs, even though the Arabs mock them. But if you build Nigeria, the landscape is one of the most beautiful on the planet. The resources are there. If you build this country that can shine like a beacon to the rest of the world, and then you can sit back and say, "Yeah, look, I built that, we built that." But then you steal the money and you run to Europe and you run to the Middle East, and they will say yes sir to you, yes sir to you, but they are mocking you. That's just one of those corrupt African leaders, When you do, so who was that? Was just one of those corrupt African leaders.
Yes.
But Boris Johnson will not go anywhere and he will leave. They will say, no, he was the Prime Minister of Britain. Da da da.
Yes.
These empty heads, they
That
just loot, just what I don't get it, It doesn't take much to build that country, and succession after succession is we're just always at this spot with publications of corruption, looting. They'd have finished Boko Haram a long time ago if they just spent the money that has been dedicated to it on it. Boko Haram would not have lasted a year if they had just, this is the money that you need to deal with these people. Go and deal with them and finish it. They'd have finished it a long time ago now. But then they
oh,
loot all of the money. They're sufficient enough in the policing budget to have proper policemen. But then they loot all. It's just unbelievable, This is why I'm saying that, do these people actually know the possibility? But they just say it, just I'll steal $1 billion and I'll go and buy in Saudi and in Dubai and it's
Buhari, Buhari, you see, the leadership matter in the running of a country. Buhari is not competent.
no, and that is the biggest problem we have. That's the biggest problem we have.
That man is not competent for the position he occupies. He occupies a very sensitive, somebody to occupy that position must be a person of vision. You must have a clear vision for the development of that country and the transformation of the people. It doesn't know it doesn't have a blueprint of what he want to do before he got there.
Not only does he not have vision, he doesn't have the competence to hold steady as well. So it's one thing to have a vision to project to the future, but if you don't have the vision, then the base level you should have is the capacity to hold the situation as you find it and solidify that for the next person with a vision to propel it to the future. So he doesn't have a vision for the future. He cannot even hold the country at a base level. Everything is just falling apart, and he continues to sit there surrounding himself with guns, insisting that he's a president. This is the
Yeah,
thing.
it,
That
it,
is
it
where we
doesn't.
are.
That is a problem. So he doesn't have a good vision, and he doesn't want to get himself surrounded with people with brains, but rather he wants to
Because that
get
would
himself surrounded.
expose his dunceness, you know.
Yes, because if he gets himself surrounded with people with brains across the country, from the north, from the south, and not Fulani dominance, it will have things will have worked well. But he wanted Fulani dominance, and he got himself surrounded, got people in sensitive position with Fulanis that are not even competent in the first place. That is the problem. That is the problem. We have some very, very qualified Fulanis that can do good job for that country. One of them is El Rufai. The former mayor of Kano. We have some Fulani that are very competent people, but he didn't use the best among them, but rather those that are not competent, that he knows those that they can easily control, and those that are yes men, that whatever he wants, they won't be able to push back against him. Tell him the truth that, Mr. President, this cannot work. This is not the way to do it. He got himself surrounded with yes men that are ready to go all the way with him, and corrupt people. What do you expect from them? People that are incompetent will surely be corrupt. That's why we see the corruption at the highest scale in every level of governance in that country. They are corrupt, and they are taking the country down every day. Every day, the country is going down. So we are in a big country, and we are in a big problem in that country. If the problem of this corruption cannot be solved, the corruption will surely kill and destroy that country. That's what I know for sure.
Oh, all right, thank you, Adele Koko. And finally, it says, your laziness as opposition, second to none, Akeredolu blaster PDP. So he's blasting PDP in general, but he's blasting specifically PDP in his own home state. The PDP, of course, have come out to alarm at this guy appointing his son, as we were discussing yesterday, as the Director for Performance and Project Implementation. So he now is saying that, well, I can do as I will because you are ineffectual. So the ineffectuality of our PDP as an opposition, both in Ondo State and in Nigeria in general, part of the problem we're contending with. Ajande Koko.
I think Akeredolu is just a short-sighted man. He doesn't know that what he is trying to do is what can get him in a big problem in Ondo State. Ondo people are people that doesn't take nonsense. You cannot show to them openly that just like you said, oh, I have done what I've done, nothing can happen. You cannot show to Ondo people openly that they are fools. You cannot tell them that they cannot do anything. If PDP intensify in their campaign against him, they could possibly bring Akeredolu down, because he has demonstrated here that he is corrupt, and the statement he has been issuing in defense of his this appointment of his child is baseless, is an act of stupidity, and Ondo people, you can't take them for a ride. They can't take Ondo people. They can be silent sometimes, but if they want to come out, to fight, they are great fighter. They know how to fight. So he doesn't understand his people well, and that's why he's making that stupid defense they have been putting up since yesterday. I believe I would like PDP not to stop, not to leave him alone. They should keep making a loud noise, and they should keep making issue of this matter. They have to make a big issue out of it. Whatever they have seen about this man, they need to expose him. It's not just to talk. It's not just to talk. Politics is not just to talk. They have to bring people out, to bring this man down, because you can't run. I mean, this is an educated person. This is a son, a person of law, acting like a thug, telling people that there's nothing anybody can do against when you are doing something wrong. You are saying your own child is more qualified than every other person. That's not true.
All right, Ajale Koko, I want to ask you a follow-on question, but before I ask you that follow-on question, let me read you this paragraph because it is pertinent to the follow-on question. So the paragraph is from the article, but just lower down. It says, when Jang appointed his son, this is Akeredolu spokesperson defending that decision, and this is some of the reasons he's using to justify that decision to appoint his son. So it says, when Jang appointed his son, Yakubu, as commissioner in Plateau State, it was okay for them. So Jang, probably a PDP man. What about Okowa, who did it in Delta? When their principal's brother in Ondo literally did all appointments while they held sway, it was okay. So this then tells us that this is not just Akeredolu, it is institutionalized within the Nigerian political space. So have we now gotten to that spot, Ajale Koko, where we have to legislate for this or against rather this nepotism that is fast growing as a culture? Should we now legislate against nepotism in government, Ajale Koko?
I think it will be better if we can legislate against it. Your immediate family cannot occupy a top position in your government, and you want to tell us that he deserves it. Oh no, they don't deserve. We have a lot of qualified people. So if legislation can come up against this, I think I will welcome it, and somebody should be bold enough, or some state should be bold enough to take up legislation in this directive, in this direction, and so that they can put stop to it. It is becoming alarming, but the excuse that is given there, that because they have done it elsewhere before, and that justify him.
Yeah, they are pointing to PDP administrations that have done it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if PDP have done something wrong, they practice corruption, so that justify you to practice corruption too. I mean,
it's ridiculous. It's not different from the military something that we were discussing just now. It's still the same symptom.
Yeah, how can they speak like that? But their statement is not a statement in defense, tells me that argument by PDP is really hitting them. They is hit. So
they
PDP,
knew it was wrong when they were doing it. This is why they are so vehement. This is why they are
yeah,
so quick to
yeah. So PDP should not stop. They should not leave him alone. They should make loud noise about this. If every day they should keep making statement about the statement after statement about this thing, so that a lot of people in the state can know about this, and people can start a resentment against him. He doesn't know the people of Ondo State. This guy doesn't know the people of the state he represents. And there have been a lot of things that have been a lot of accusation as well against his wife as well. The way his wife is an Igbo woman, and
yes.
there have been a lot of accusation that he brought a lot of people from the east to occupy some sensitive position under the office of what do they call it? Office of First Lady, and some program that she championed. So this is the PDP should not just be talking; they should be releasing some evidences or some fact they have against his corrupt practices. They need to start issuing it out. They should let us know. They should let the people of the state know. They should make a big noise on the internet as well. So they have to bring anybody that is corrupt must be brought down in that country. So Akodololu is demonstrating that he's a corrupt man. This is the last time in office, and he want to put his son as a DG to monitor every contract and every contract and every project, every project that been a capital project that been carried out in that state. His son is the one that will
what that
supervise
means?
and monitor it.
Given the bribery space of Nigeria, so anything that they do, he gets a cut. That boy.
He gets a cut.
And of course, it will report to family when they go and meet abroad, where they are stashing their money.
Yeah, so they have to. PDP must do their research well, get whatever they have in terms of document or any facts that they come across that is tenable in the public space. They should bring it out and let us expose this corrupt man. It's just very shameful of him that he could do this. A lot of people have respect for him. I am one of them that have respect for him, but he has disappointed me, and I'm not with him anymore. So PDP should not rest. They have to continue so that the right of the people and the resources of the people cannot be taken away from the people. It's shameful.
All right, thank you, Ajande Koko. So, yes, we pretty much covered all the talking points. So, we reconvene for later on if you're chanced. So, as ever, the final words to Ajande Koko. So, Ajande Koko, just sum it up for us. Ajande Koko, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, one man, and thank everybody that is watching us around the world. And I want to thank those of you behind the scene that's chatting. You are the strength of the platform. And to those of you watching us around the world, please, if you have not subscribed, please do right now. Subscribe, share, like, and click on the notification button so that anytime One Man Went to Mo is going on live, you can get notified. We are here all the time to express our thoughts on political situation in Nigeria, and we want a better nation, and we do everything within our means to we will do our best all the time. So thank you, One Man. thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing.
All right. Thank you, Ajale Koko. I'll see you later if you're chanced. So that is Ajale Koko rounding it off as only he can. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.